Hello and welcome to the United Stand. We are taking your calls on Skype Goldbridge. We're also taking your Snapchats, United Stand MUFC. But we're starting off with Antoine Griezmann. Antoine Griezmann, it's got so many turns. It's like a maze, this story. But big developments, and we will bring them to you as and when it happens with Griezmann. So, what is the big twist? Well, Atletico Madrid are adamant that he will be staying at Manchester United. Yeah, we're welcome in Madrid for at least another year. They want to extend his contract. His current contract pays him about £110,000 sterling a week. They want to knock that up to £160,000 a week and sterling, and they want to knock his buyout clause up from what is currently £90 million sterling up to £130 million sterling. So it's sort of, why would Griezmann do that? Well, if he wants to stay in the sun and he wants to stay with Simeone, who apparently has committed himself to Atletico Madrid for another season, there's a lot of confidence from Atletico Madrid that he will sign that deal and stay. Obviously, from Manchester United's point of view, or in fact anybody who wants to sign Griezmann's point of view, that is a little bit frustrating because they know that this summer they can buy him for £90 million and they can offer him better than £100,000 a week. They can double it, and they double it again if they want. Manchester United probably will do that and lure him to Manchester. However, it's a clever move by Atletico Madrid to keep hold of him, really, because the reality is, if they get him to sign this deal and say, look, by all means, you can go next summer when Simeone goes, we'll give you an increase in your salary for another year, you're going to get Champions League football, you're going to be here with it where you're comfortable, just one more year, Antoine, sign the contract, and also we'll get another 40 million out of it because it's going to cost them all 130 million. I'm slightly concerned that he might pen the deal. I am, because what's he got to lose by staying another year with Simeone where he likes it and then saying next year I'm going to move? The slight... Man City and Chelsea are apparently want him as well. Now, I don't think he's going to go anywhere else in England other than Manchester United. And I would say that with firm confidence. And also, I'm firmly confident... I'm not firm down there, don't be rude. I am firmly confident that he will come to Manchester United if we get Champions League football. Because the only reason I can see him going to stay at Atletico Madrid is if this situation arises that I'm about to tell you, and I'm sure a lot of you will agree. If we get Europa League football and he wants to come to Manchester United, it's in Griezmann's interests, and this is where Atletico Madrid are very clever, it's in Griezmann's interest to sign the new contract at Atletico Madrid, earn himself another 50 grand a week, and then next summer when Simeone leaves, come to Manchester and play with Pogba. It's only another year, he gets Champions League football, why should he take a step down? The only lure to Manchester United this summer if we don't get Champions League football is the fact that we can say, look, we'll pay you 250 grand a week or 300 grand a week. And if I was Griezmann, he might do that, but do we really want him to do that? Do we really want him just to be coming Manchester United for the money? Or do we want to be in a situation where we're going, we've got Champions League football, we can pay you the big money, but we've got Champions League football, it's a new quest, it's a new challenge for you, and that's how we want to sign him. I'm starting to lean towards, if we don't get Champions League football, I think the Griezmann deal, I sort of hope that he signs the new deal at Atletico Madrid, because I don't want us to just be getting him because we're chucking a load of money at him. I want Griezmann in his head to be thinking, look, I ain't going to sign this new deal with Atletico Madrid just yet. I'm going to see what happens with Manchester United. If they get Champions League football, I'm off. If they don't get Champions League football, I'm going to sign the deal with Atletico Madrid and I'll see what the situation is next summer and potentially move to Manchester United then. And I know that'll upset a lot of people, and it does upset me because I want Griezmann to come. But I don't want him just to come for the money. And I would actually I'd like that side of him if he does go, I'm going to stay where I know, where I like the manager, where we've got Champions League football, and I'm going to stay at Atletico Madrid for another year. And I know that sounds a little bit odd because I've always said that I really want him at Manchester United, but I don't necessarily want him just to be coming for the money. I want him to be coming for the project. But, I know a lot of you will disagree with that, but that's just my thoughts on it. I can't see him going to Man City. I can't see him going to Chelsea. I can't see him going to PSG. Real Madrid, apparently there was some talk of that, but he's come out and killed that himself. He said, no, basically Griezmann said, look, nothing's impossible, but to go to Real Madrid would be very, very difficult. So I can't see that happening. I think it's Bayern Munich or Manchester United. And I'll go back to what I said a couple of weeks ago. I don't think Bayern Munich can afford 90 million. So there we go. Arsenal are losing 1-0, by the way. Arsenal Fan TV will have a hard on. But we'll keep up to date with that. But big news about Griezmann there, and we will certainly keep an eye on it. I think it's Champions League dependent. I think if we get Champions League football, we'll get him. If we get Europa League football, he might still come. I've been quite confident about this deal happening, but it's a clever move by Atletico Madrid. Please drop a like on the video. We're about to go to some of your calls, and Skype Goldbridge is open, by the way, so you can Skype in with the Skype Goldbridge all one word questions. We're taking any questions you want. It is a Skype Goldbridge show. I just wanted to start it off with a little bit of topical stuff. Also topical, Tony Adams now managing Granada. You know, Granada, they are in the bottom 3 in Spain, where Pereira, I don't know why I've gone all like that, like a Dalek, where Pereira is doing absolutely fantastic. Pull him back, Jose. We don't want Tony Adams teaching him. He'll come out with all sorts of bad habits. J-May.
When will Mourinho ever sell Fellaini? I mean, if he does sell him, I think we'll be complaining for trophies such as the Champions League. But, my God, when is he going to sell him?
When is he going to sell Marouane Fellaini, says J-May. How long is a piece of string? Hashil's just subscribed to the channel. You can subscribe by clicking the hologram in the bottom right-hand corner. Thanks for that, Hashil. And Rush Sheehan.
It depends if Atletico Madrid go and sign a few players. They're currently looking at Dybala and a few other strikers to come into their...
they're also looking at Lacazette and potentially Alexis Sanchez as well. Bex Howell?
If we weren't to get Griezmann, who would you want and why?
If we weren't to get Griezmann, who would we want and why? For me, it would be... I just mentioned the name there, Alexis Sanchez. But if we don't get Griezmann, it's quite difficult because I think he's perfect for the Rooney replacement that we desperately need. You could look at James Rodriguez. You could look at Mbappe, but they're not. You know, Griezmann can play centrally, and he's very clinical. He'd be perfect. Zach Roberts.
Would you rather we sign Lukaku or Sanchez?
Lukaku or Sanchez? Sanchez every day of the week. Bilal. He's just dabbing. And that's his dinner. Look at that. Send us some more. We'll go through those. Is anyone Skyping in tonight or can't you be bothered? Skype Goldbridge is open. Skype in. Let's take some of your questions. And also, send us your Snapchats. United Stand, MUFC, all one word. Or Skype is Skype Goldbridge, all one word. Am I going to Michael Carrick's testimonial, says Cody Anderson. I desperately want to go to it. The chances are I probably won't be going to it because my wife is due to give birth on June the 10th. So it's one of those. I probably will have tickets for it. And if not, I'll have my family. It's annoying when you don't answer the questions, Mark, says Johnny Hennigan. Well, ask the question and I'll try and do it. But I want to take a Skype call. Shane, can you hear me?
Hey, Mark.
How you doing?
I just want to talk about United's top 4 hopes.
Okay, go on then.
At the moment, Arsenal are, as you know, losing 1-0 to Crystal Palace. And if we win our 2 games in hand, we're level on points with Liverpool. So I was wondering, do you think the top 4 in the Premier League is still a big possibility?
I personally don't. I did say last week that I felt that the draws against Everton and West Brom were catastrophic. We have got 2 games in hand. I think it's fair to say that City, I think, will get top 4. Looking at their fixtures, I think they'll get it. So it's fair to include us in the race because it's not, like you say, we win the 2 games in hand and we're in it. So I think it's Liverpool, Arsenal and United for 4th place. Really frustrating that Stoke couldn't stop Liverpool winning at the weekend. I really thought they would. They've got West Brom away this weekend. If Liverpool win there, I think that's probably, two of their potential banana skins gone and they've took 6 points. So the trouble is our games in hand are Man City away and Southampton away, which, if we could get 6 points. But, what are your thoughts? Do you think we can still get top 4 then?
We have Chelsea this Sunday. And as you said, we have Man City, and we also have to play Arsenal and Tottenham. They're very difficult games, but I think that if Mourinho plays about with it, puts a few of the fringe players in, I think that we can get top 4. I think it is still a possibility.
I suppose in relation to the Europa League, do you think that's our best shot? Are you confident we can do that? Apparently Anderlecht's best striker is now injured as well.
Well, I said at the start, whoever beats Leon is going to win the Europa League, and I'd say if we could beat Leon, definitely we can win the Europa League. I'd say it probably is our best chance, but I would still keep the top 4 as a possibility.
I'd love us to get top 4 because it would probably mean that Liverpool won't get top 4, which is absolutely fantastic. And I don't want them to get top 4. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens with it. Leon obviously losing badly to Lorient at the weekend. So, everybody's beatable. My concern with United, as I said last night, is that we're not playing well, but we definitely have the potential to do it. So if I was to ask you what you think we're going to end up with at the end of the season, which fits in with Griezmann, do you think we'll have Champions League football at the end of the season, and through which route?
I'd say we will have top 4 because of the games that we play. I think that Man City's defence is just all over the place, as is Arsenal's. I think there we have 3 points and 3 points in the bag. And with the Chelsea game, I don't think we'll beat Chelsea. Arsenal, we will. Man City, we will. Tottenham, we did beat them earlier on the season, but yeah, in good form. I mean, they've won their last 7 games, I think. So
yeah,
I'd say it could be a draw against Tottenham, but I think we still will get top 4.
Great call, Shane. Thanks for calling. Where are you calling from? Ireland, I predict.
Yeah.
Is it your first time on?
No, I was on before.
Good. I've got a memory like a sieve. There's so many. Plus, the great thing is so many people have been on now, so it's I'd be a genius to remember them all. But thanks for calling in, pal, and do call in again.
I will, Mark. See ya.
Cheers, pal. Thank you. Good question. I don't know what people are going to ask, so please do call in. What I would say about Spurs is that it might be quite... I'm building up towards Chelsea. We start tonight in many ways. We will beat Chelsea on Sunday. Call me stupid, naive or whatever. I've been saying it for weeks and weeks. I think I even said it at Christmas. We will beat Chelsea at Old Trafford on Sunday. Be confident. We're going to do it. And when we do it, you can say, oh, Mark's been saying that for ages. We will beat Chelsea at the weekend. I still think Chelsea will win the league. And with Spurs, by the time we play them in May, if the title's gone for them, it could be slightly easier. But we'll see what happens with that. Let's take another Skype call. And Jamak Jr. Can you hear me? Jamak Jr.
Hello.
Hi, you alright?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfectly. What do you want to ask?
Oh, Mark. Well, first time on the show, so congratulations with your wife being pregnant.
Thank you very much.
You'll have amazing time from another following father.
Good.
Just talk about Mourinho. I been sold on him when we hired him at the beginning. I was very confident that he was going to sort of deliver, but the problem I had with him was his management and the type of football he was going to play. Now, the football has been slightly better than Van Gaal, thank God for that. But his obsession with Fellaini, his lack of fair criticism towards...
Oh, we've lost him. Can't hear him. Oh, that's a shame. Can you hear me still? Are you still there? Oh, what a shame that was. What a shame. It was sounding like to be a good call. Nelson, can you hear me?
Hello.
All right, pal.
Hello.
Oh God, I think we're having problems tonight. Let's take some Snapchats because I know they will work. Everybody's welcome on the United Stand, but so obviously people are phoning in from all over the world, so it sometimes can be a bit dependent on your Wi-Fi, etc. But I'll keep an eye out and we'll take some more. The real Kep.
Do you really think Antoine Griezmann could bring Man United to another Champions League triumph? Thanks. Love the streams.
Cheers, pal. I don't think he can do it on his own. I think as a part of a team, he's a good ask. But he can't do it on his own. What are we doing here? Commando Snaps.
Mark, don't know about you, mate, but I find it a little bit worrying that Jose still lives in a hotel. Short-termism, if you ask me.
That's a good point from Commando Snaps. What do you all think about the fact that he lives in a hotel? It's not something I've brought up for a long time, but I did think it last week. Why is he still in a hotel? It is a bit, his family live down in London. It's very much it's very much a job to him, isn't it? It's very much, which is fair enough. But when's the commitment going to happen? When is he going to move up here? Because if he's here for the long term, why is he still in a hotel? Very good point. Very good point. Eugene Lanigan.
Hey Mark, keep up the good work. United Stand is a fantastic channel. Any more rumours about Mendy or Tielemans to United?
Thanks for that, Eugene. In relation to Mendy, all I can say about that is that it was something that Duncan Castles broke, who's quite close to Mourinho. I've just got a funny feeling we'll sign him. There was mention today that Luke Shaw, I mean, it's ridiculous this. I don't even know who came out with it, but I guarantee it's one of the red top papers. They said that the only reason Mourinho's picking Luke Shaw is to boost his price. I mean, God, this is Manchester United. It's right up there with we only play Fellaini to get him in the shop window. Nonsense. I think Luke Shaw's got a very good chance of being our left back next season. So why would we sign Mendy? But we'll see what happens. In relation to Tielemans, I don't even know. I've never heard that Manchester United are linked to him. But it's going to be great to watch him on Thursday and the second leg. So we'll really get to see how good he is. Nathan.
If Griezmann comes for 90 million in the summer, would that put the pressure off Pogba?
That's a good question. Would signing any player for more than Pogba costs take the pressure off him? I think it's a big season for Pogba next year, and I expect him to take that pressure off himself. But it certainly would if he's not the biggest signing. The press will move to the new one. Reece Carr.
Do you think we're going to sell Fellaini, and what position do you think we need improving the most?
I don't think we'll sell Fellaini, and I think the position we need to improve the most is, I would have said the centre-back, but we still need a dominant centre-back, and I'd put that a close second, but I think the most important position we need to sort out is the centre defensive midfielder, because I think we know that at the moment, Pogba and Herrera, they play every week, but it's who plays with those two. We've seen Fellaini do it, it doesn't work. We've seen Carrick do it, it works most of the time, but then sometimes because of fatigue and decline, he doesn't turn up. We haven't got Mata. So I think it's the most important position for us to sort out, to be honest with you. Let's take a couple more and then we'll take another Skype call. Indy Tagger?
Why is Fellaini in our midfield? I'd rather have Taylor Swift playing in my midfield.
I'd rather have Taylor Swift in my midfield. I'd love to watch Taylor Swift in Manchester United's midfield. Brees Merwin. He's in the pub. And Based God's Car.
Mark, what are your thoughts on Lozano from Mexico? Past weekend he picked up a red card for being a little too silly, but overall, he's had lots of caps for Mexico. He's a great player.
Lozano is a player that I really like. I've not heard that we're linked with him other than last summer. So let's go back to the Skype. But I do like him, but I've not heard anything that we are interested in him at all. Let's try and see if we can get Glenn on the show. Glenn, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can, yeah.
Hi, pal. What do you want to say?
Yeah, it's just I want to ask you about the top four chances, and would you rather have Liverpool or Arsenal if we don't make it?
What about you? I'll throw it back while I have a little think. Well, I know who I would, but what about you? Who would you want to get top four if we don't? Liverpool or Arsenal?
I wouldn't want Liverpool getting it. Not a chance in this world.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, Arsenal always get it. I don't really like Arsenal, but it's a different level with Liverpool, and I think if we could, Arsenal aren't doing a great job at the moment, and everyone's saying how I laugh at Arsenal, but 100%, I would not want Liverpool to get it. I'd definitely put Arsenal ahead of those. I'd probably put City ahead of Liverpool. But that's because I've always disliked Liverpool. Do you think from that? Do you think we're not going to get top four? Then do you think it's a little bit too tough for us to do it now?
What I think is, it's we're in the race. I just think that the fact that get them 2 games in hand, we've got to win them 2 games in hand, and them to lose. So I just don't think that we can go 2 or 3 games without dropping points.
And what about obviously Europa League's coming up first, Anderlecht. There's something really wrong if we can't get through 2 legs against Anderlecht. Europa League, are you confident that we can win that, or do you think there is a bit of a? One thing I would say is that on paper we should win the Europa League, but name me a team in England that's done well in Europe for a long time, and I personally think we are taking for granted teams like Celta Vigo, Schalke. These teams, they're not the best teams in Spain or Germany, but they play in those leagues. They're competitive in those leagues, And most English clubs are struggling when they play teams from those leagues. So I'm not confident that we will win this tournament.
That's what I was just going to say. I'm not confident with Man United at all, with any team, to be fair. Because look at when we was in the FA Cup against Blackburn. I know we ended up going to win, but we weren't convincing. So if we can go to teams like that, and any team in the Premier League can be a stumbling block for Man United.
Yeah, I think, and I don't know about you, but we were speaking about this a few weeks ago. It's been like it for 3 years, I've got to be honest, but I think we thought it would improve a little bit quicker with Mourinho, that we'd get back to those days under Sir Alex where you do play West Brom at home and Everton, and yeah, you know, the odd game we wouldn't win, but 99% of the time you're going to turn them over. There's just no trust in any United game at the moment, is it? I mean, you know, I've got to be positive and say, when we play City in a couple of weeks at the Etihad, I've got every confidence we might win it. But then when we play Burnley away or when we play Anderlecht at home, I can't say with hand on my heart that I'd put my mortgage on it that we're going to win. At the moment, you just don't trust United with any result.
Well, that's it. Like you said, United on the day can beat any team, but they can also drop points or lose to any team. Now, especially with teams that we're not familiar with, like you said, Celta Vigo's, Anderlecht, they're in Europe for a reason. So they're not like a pushover. Most of these teams left in this competition are probably better than our maybe Sunderland's and or teams in Crystal Palaces and teams down at the bottom. So, and like you said, if we can't go and beat West Brom, then who's to say that we can go and beat Celta Vigo, Anderlecht, or Lyon?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at the both. I think basing it on the leagues, because I know Ajax is still in it, and I know Lyon are in it, and I know Besiktas are in it, but I'm saying Turkish league, French league, Dutch league, they're not on the level of the German and the Spanish league. So Celta Vigo are currently mid-table in Spain, and so are Schalke, not obviously not in Spain, in Germany. So you know they're no slouches. I don't know. I think it's our best bet, but I think it's going to be. I think we'll get through in Anderlecht, and then it's going to get tough.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I also think that Paul Pogba, like you said, we bought him for £90 million due to the fact that it was ripping it up in the Italian league. But let's have it right. It's not the best of leagues, and it's not the most competitive. But I think that we've judged him. I'm not saying that he's not a good player, and I think there's a lot more to come from him. But he needs to pull his socks up a lot.
Hopefully, I'm confident. I've just got a funny feeling that he will in the European football because it's slower. And I think the problem with the Premier League is his decision making most of the time, because it's quick, it gets stuck in his head. But I think in the Europa League, hopefully, because it's a little bit slower, it will suit him a little bit better. But we'll see. We'll see. He's very important to us, and we certainly need him. It was a great bit of skill for the third goal yesterday, but the vast majority of the game wasn't good enough. But you sound like you're based from Manchester. Is it the first time you've called in, Glenn?
No, I've called in a few times. I'm from Preston.
Well, very good call. Cheers for doing that, and give us a call again, pal.
Cheers. Nice one for that, mate.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, mate.
Bye-bye. Good call. Right, okay. Let me take some of the live comments, then we'll take another Skype call. Skype Goldbridge. I don't know why, we've got a lot of people watching, but we've not got a lot of people calling in. I remember when we started this, we used to get loads of people. Please do drop a like on the video. It's not for the United stand, it's not for me, it's for the callers. And I do like to get a lot of likes on the video because it takes, well, it doesn't take any balls to call in, but, you know, please do call in and support the people who do call in. Now, he wasn't able to join us yesterday because he bottled it, but I tell you what, we've got Mad Marcus on. Now, he normally does the watch along with me, and yesterday, mysteriously, he just couldn't do it. And then Fellaini, his hero, was captain. You must be gutted, mate. You must be gutted.
I was absolutely devastated. I missed it, mate. Absolutely devastated.
Well, he got a right pasting off everybody yesterday, so I hope at least, whatever your point is, your first minute's going to be defending your lover.
In a way, yeah. I mean, it's just... It comes across to me that maybe, you know, a lot of fans in the comments seem to say that, you know, we know he's no good as a Manchester United player. We know he's not Manchester United quality. And I've thought to myself, it's not as if he went and asked Mourinho to give him that captain's armband, is it? And I'm thinking, like, why are we so against him? I don't understand it. The guy tries. At least he tries, unlike some other people in the team, right?
Yeah. I think it's just because he's crap, to be honest.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah.
I'm not even being horrible to him. I think that's what it is. Everybody knows he can try, but I think it's just because he's crap that people are just, fed up of it. But what I would say is, I know you're going to carry on, but what I would want to jump in and say is, in relation to the captaincy, I know it was a shock, and I know it never should have happened, and it was a joke, and we got laughed at, and I don't like that from other clubs. But Mourinho has been quite consistent when you look at it. He's giving the captaincy to the most experienced player on the pitch in relation to how long they've been at the club. He's given it to Mata this season. He's given it to Smalling. He's given it to De Gea. And on the pitch yesterday, Fellaini's the player who's been there the longest, bar Jesse Lingard. But I think Fellaini probably started playing for the first team before Jesse Lingard did. And also, I don't think Jesse Lingard could captain a bloody boat in the bath. So I don't think Lingard was ever going to get it. But that's why Fellaini had it. I don't think it was because he thinks he's a better. I just don't think he thinks the captaincy is important.
Well, that was my theory as well. I mean, what with Pogba being out on the pitch and Zlatan being out on the pitch, do you think like that maybe Jose just, well, not Zlatan, but I mean Pogba, Herrera. Do you think maybe he doesn't see them as long-term captains? Because let's be honest, I mean, if everything's going to go according to plan, Rooney's off in the summer, right? So wouldn't that have been a perfect opportunity to hand it to one of them to see if they could grasp it and take responsibility?
Yeah, it would. I just think I've given it a little bit of thought, and I think a lot of people have as well. And I just think he just doesn't really value the captaincy that much at Manchester United at the moment, for whatever reason. Because I personally, I love Juan Mata. I don't think he's a captain. I'm one of the few who actually I don't think he should be. I don't think he's a centre back to win us the league. But in relation to the centre backs we've had this season, I do think Smalling. I do like Smalling because he's good in the air. He's not a captain either. So I've got to be honest. I don't like Fellaini in a Manchester United shirt, especially playing in the midfield. But if we're going to moan at him about being the captain, well, I've got to agree with people that Chris Smalling's not a captain, Juan Mata's not a captain, De Gea's not. I don't agree with goalkeepers being captains. I think that issue needs to be parked really because it's irrelevant. Because he obviously doesn't value the captain. So whether he's going to use Pogba or Herrera, I think it's sad. I think the captain's very important. I mean, at Manchester United, we've got a great heritage of having captains who are essentially the manager on the pitch. Your Roy Keanes, your Robsons, going back way through history. So, and Mourinho's done it himself with the likes of John Terry at Chelsea. So it's surprising that he sort of diminished the captaincy, but it didn't start with Fellaini yesterday. I've got to be fair. He's done it with people like Mata and Smalling.
Yeah, I mean, and just to go on to the Griezmann thing as well, the contract extension for another year. I mean, worst case scenario for me is if he does sign that contract and, the price goes up to 120, 130 million, and he doesn't come to Manchester United and Zlatan decides to go to Napoli or the MLS, wherever he's on about going, what do you think we could do realistically as a number 9 in the transfer market? Because Aubameyang is adamant he wants to go to Real Madrid. I think it is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for me, you're looking at the likes of Dybala, Lukaku, and are they good enough for United? Knowing that what Zlatan's done this season is not good enough at the minute in terms of where we are in the league table.
It's a good point. I mean, I don't know what you think, and it is your call, so I'll throw it back. But I think it's a really good point because I think if we, as we were saying at the start of the video, this new contract from Atletico Madrid is basically, it's in their interest because it makes him more expensive when they sell him. They keep him for another year, and I think it's very dependent on, if United don't get Champions League football, I do think he'll sign the contract and stay at Atletico Madrid for another year. And I think our season's on it's a good point about Zlatan, because if Griezmann doesn't come in and Zlatan goes, who do you get? And I think it really is based on our season next year, and our future really is very dependent on what happens in the next 6 weeks. I think if we get Champions League football, we can sort of sit back and enjoy the summer, and we know that everything on it's like a buffet, isn't it? It's like We're first at the front of the queue. All the
Yep.
food is fresh. Pick what you like. If we don't get Champions League football, then we're going to be about 10th in the queue, and a bunch of fatties have had a go on it before us, and there's not a lot left, and it's quite cold, and that will be very, very challenging. I mean, I don't know whether you agree with that, or do you think we can we'll be all right? Do you think we'll be all right if we don't get the Champions League?
No, I don't. I honestly don't. I mean, I know we have the money and we can go and buy whoever we want, during the transfer windows. But let's be honest, top targets, the big top targets are not going to want to come. And, if we're not in the Champions League, I don't think the history of the club or the badge and the shirt is going to be enough to get these top players. I think they need more of a reason apart from money in that situation to come to the club. They want to be playing at the top level, and at the minute, to me, it just doesn't look like top 4 is a possibility at the minute. Even though it's still mathematically possible, I just don't think, in the form that we are, I don't think it's going to be possible in the long run.
Yeah, we'll see. Chad, I've read you a few times saying that I've spelled Griezmann wrong in the title. I think it needs a bit of a timeout, because I've looked at it 3 or 4 times now, and I definitely have spelt it correctly. No, I haven't. He's right.
No.
Give him a clap on the back. It's the I before E. What a twat I am. I apologise. Sorry, Chad. You brilliant comment of the night.
I was just going to say that he's right.
He is right. I'm an idiot. I've been staring at it for the last 2 minutes going, I haven't got it wrong. I before E, except after C. You've learned something tonight there. But thanks, Marcus. Are you going to be on the watch along on Thursday?
Yes, mate. Yeah, I should be. Yeah.
You're on for Chelsea, aren't you, at the weekend?
I'm on for Chelsea, mate. Yeah, no worries.
Got a big surprise on the United stand on Sunday. We'll keep it under the hat, but something's going on Sunday. Be something new. But loads of shows to come before then. And thanks for calling in, Marcus. Very good as per usual.
No worries, mate. Have a good show. See you later.
Cheers, pal. Okay, let's... Oh, no, I don't want to do that. What have I done? Okay. What I want to do is take a few Snapchats and let everybody know that the Snapchat is all one word, United Stand MUFC, and the Skype is Skype Goldbridge, all one word. So we've still got time. Anything you want to ask, just throw it in. We've talked obviously about Griezmann. There's not a lot going on elsewhere in relation to transfers. We've spoken about top 4, but it is your opportunity. If a lot of you disagreed with the show last night, so if you've got things to say, let us know. Let us know. Film84.
Hi Mark, Shane here from Ireland. I was just wondering, would it be an idea to bring someone like Roy Keane back to give Pogba a bit of a mentoring, because Jose did leave the door open?
Yes, I'd love Roy Keane at Manchester United, but apparently he hates Mourinho, doesn't he? He's always having a go at him. I think out of all the ex-players, I'd love Roy Keane back at Manchester United, because, to be honest, he's won everything. He knows what it's all about on the pitch. He may never be a great manager, but you can't beat the experience that he's got. Mully Garno 14.
Would you have Ozil at United, considering he was good for Mourinho at Madrid?
He says, would you have Ozil at Manchester United, considering he was good at Real Madrid under Mourinho? I tweeted this out last night. No, we've got enough bottlers in our squad as it is without getting him in. He's got no spine and no fight. I would not want him at all at Manchester United. Fraud pays.
Mark, personally, I think that Dybala or Sanchez would have more effect than Griezmann in the Premier League. Thoughts?
Dybala or Sanchez more impactful than Griezmann. I think the reason I like Griezmann is I don't see him as a forward. I see him as a midfield 3. If we get a good defensive midfielder in, Pogba box to box, Griezmann ahead of him, and then another striker ahead of him and the wingers either side. I think Griezmann is the player to play at the number 10 position and replace Rooney. I don't think Dybala can do that, and I don't think it suits Sanchez. I think Sanchez is better further forward as well. So I'd be looking at Griezmann and Dybala or Sanchez, to be honest. And Adam.
I think Griezmann's a great character, but I just think that we need a physically strong, tall and clinical striker. Not a magician, we've already got them.
He thinks we've already got magicians, and well, they're not very good at the moment. But I understand what you're saying, because if Zlatan goes, it has been good this year having somebody tall and strong. We've not had that for many years at Manchester United, so I do agree with you.
Okay, do you know, I cannot see us getting top 4 the way we're fucking playing, especially with Fellaini.
Danny Lead, can't see us getting top 4, especially if we keep playing Fellaini. I'd have to agree with that, to be honest. Steiner?
Do you think Valencia will be brilliant next year as well?
I think Valencia's got another year in him, and I do. I think he's got another year in him. Be interesting if we bought a right back to come in and have a go. But I think he'd be first choice next year. I think that comment by Mourinho a few months ago, where he said he was the best right back in the world, a lot of people laughed at it. Even I didn't laugh at it. I thought he's one of the best right backs in the country. But actually, when you look at it, I think he's been spot on. I think Valencia is unbelievable. For me, he's hands down player of the year. I know we're going to start talking about that over the next few weeks, and obviously the next few weeks are so important that somebody could come up on the rails and be our player of the year. But at the moment, Valencia's out in front as far as I'm concerned. I was just about to hit a Skype call. There was a few of you waiting. I was just about to hit one, so do Skype. In fact, David, you've hit the lucky ticket here. David, can you hear me?
I think that comment by Mourinho a few months ago when he said it was...
Hello, Mark. How you doing, Mark?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I just have some things I want to talk about.
Okay.
Concerning Man Utd. 4 things I want to talk about. The first thing is our chance of making top 4 and also winning the Europa League. I think for us, it's better for us to focus on both, because when you think of it and you look at it critically well, you see that we are still not so far off from making top 4. Because, yeah, I know we have lost so many points by drawing so many matches at home that we should have won and all, but what if we move to the final of the Europa League and we still lose it? It means we don't get any chance at Champions League football next season. So I think we should go for the 2 and not put all our eggs in one basket. We would have been in this position if our support him 100% and then proved to be too stubborn like that, because I thought this weekend he was actually going to maybe play Twanzebe or Fosu Mensah at some point, but he never did. So I think we shouldn't just focus on the Europa League, because anybody can surprise any team, because this is football. You can't just say, okay, this is what's going to happen 100%. And then secondly, I want to talk about our transfer options. I think United need another left back, though I don't want them to sell Luke Shaw, but I think Dele Blind is going to leave, so we need a replacement for him. We also need somebody in the middle of the park, because, Carrick is a legend for United, but he's past it. We have to admit that at this point. Him, Rooney are beyond what should be or what United require. So I think we need another player in that part. And then Griezmann, funny enough, I think I'll pick Mbappe over Griezmann, because I think Mbappe has the potential to be as good as Griezmann. But the question with Mbappe is Mourinho. We all know what Mourinho likes doing with young talents. I don't know if you followed the 2000.
I don't know what's going wrong tonight. I've cut that because we were losing him a few times. But good points. I hope you can see. David, it was. Thanks for that, David. I didn't get to reply to any of them. But Mbappe over Griezmann. Thinks we should go for both for the top 4. So interesting points there. It just reminded me while I was listening to David there and I was reading some of the live comments, which I do. There's a fantastic video that's gone up at 3 o'clock today on the United stand. Please do give it a watch. Class of 2017, Manchester United's top youth talents. If you want to know a little bit about the youth setup at Manchester United, and I've not done the video, it's done with the animated pictures and everything like that. Absolutely fantastic. So go and give that a watch. It's only about 5 minutes long. In fact, let's give him a little bit of airtime. Stephen, I was just talking about your video. That I've advised everyone to go and give it a watch. Please do go and give it a watch after this. But what do you want to talk about?
I was interested about your comments about Mourinho not valuing the captain, and I probably disagree, and I just think there's no obvious candidate at the moment. With Rooney still around, he kind of has to. I mean, it's almost like a photographer at a wedding. The bride is a bit unsightly. You kind of have to just take a picture anyway. I think for next year, I think Valencia is the hands down option. Whether or not he's only got a year or two left in it, I look at that team, and I can't see anyone else other than Valencia who comes close to being worthy of it. He's been at the team for a lot. He's been at the team for a while, and he's had a great year. So I think give him his dues, and I think that seems like the likely option. I don't know if you think there's anyone else that could do it.
I was just thinking in my head then, when Mata got the captaincy, was Valencia on the pitch? And if he was on the pitch, he's definitely been there longer than Mata. You'd have thought Mourinho did approach him, and maybe Valencia said he didn't want it. I don't know. I don't know what Valencia's English is like now either, because I know for a few years it wasn't great.
Yeah, that's fair. But I think in terms of just what he brings with him, I think this year especially, he just seems to have something more about him where I think he does galvanise the team. And I think what we need in a captain at the moment is someone who's just performing consistently and someone that's setting a bar for the rest of the team. I think one of the biggest problems we've had this year are too many players aren't performing well enough. And I think if he was the captain, I think he'd have a bit more authority to actually boss the game a little bit. And I think it seems like the obvious candidate. I miss the times when we just had a set captain, a set number 7, and I'd love to get back to that next year. And I can't see no one that comes in is going to get it. So yeah, I'd be surprised if I can't think of anyone else you'd go for.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I'm being a little bit rude. Hold on. I can't take. That's actually Drawty phoning me on my mobile when he knows I'm live. Louis Zaha, Wilfried Zaha, sorry, is trending on Twitter at the moment. I want to ask you about this, Stephen. Alex Shaw, who's I think he's the editor at ESPN, I think he's a United fan, changes his opinion like the weather, but he said Zaha is the tits. Such a shame for him, the big move happened too quick, obviously amazing, just has to nail that last bit. And then Bale's left foot, who is at the real JC on Twitter, who I've been following for a long time, and I don't follow many people. He says, Zaha is bang average, get off the hype train, just because United binned him, you fickle see you next Tuesdays, which is short for CUNTS. Which, yeah. Where do you stand on it? Because I've got to be totally honest, I'm with Bale's left foot. I think Zaha is a very good player for Crystal Palace, but I don't think he's Manchester United quality. And I think we do get a little bit like, a player leaves and suddenly why did we let them go? And I sort of fell into that trap yesterday with Schneidlin. And I regret saying what I said now because he had his chance at Manchester United and he blew it. And the same for Memphis. And I don't buy into this. It's a bit like when Kevin Phillips used to score goals for Sunderland. Well, he was never Manchester United class either, but he scored a lot of goals.
Yeah, I'd be inclined to agree with you. I think he's a good striker, but I don't think he's Man United quality. And I think we're a lot of United fans can be quite quick to be overly defensive of these players. And I mean, we're forgetting that as a United player, in years gone by, you would be found out so quickly if you weren't at the absolute top of your game and one of the best players in the world, because you just wouldn't last. And I think Zaha, for me, falls into that bracket. To be honest, the team we've had this year and the way we've been playing, he fits into that probably, but I don't think he should fit into where we should be heading. And if we're talking about Lukaku, I mean, I know you don't necessarily think Lukaku would be the right player or he bottles it in too many big games, but I think if we're thinking that way about Lukaku, who's the top scorer in the league, Zaha shouldn't even be on the same playing field. I think it's hype, and I think I don't think we made a mistake on that one at all. We do need. I'm really like every time I look into it with the who we're going to get to ultimately replace Zlatan. It doesn't seem like anyone that obvious, but yeah, not Zaha for me at all.
Okay, thanks for calling in, Stephen. And I would just reiterate, when you've finished watching this, go and watch the video he did for us about the youth. It was absolutely fantastic. But thanks for calling in.
Cheers, mate. Thanks,
pal.
mate. Cheers, mate. Bye.
Really, and I know a lot of you are interested in the youth, so do give it a watch. We did one last year. In fact, I did one last August, I think it was. And, I know a lot of people watch them, so go and give it a watch. I was just looking at Arsenal's starting 11 there. I mean, I quite fancied Stoke to beat Liverpool and Palace to take points off of Arsenal. And it's looking like it could go that way. I've got a funny feeling it won't be a Palace win. It might be a draw at best. But I look at the Arsenal starting lineup. Martinez, Bellerin, Mustafi, Gabriel, Monreal, Xhaka, El Nini, Walcott, Ozil, Sanchez, Welbeck. It's crap. There's a good couple of players in there, but it's a crap side. I mean, you look at our 11 that we can put out, and it should be battering Arsenal. I'm not surprised that they're not doing that well. It's a really, really bottling team, isn't it? But there we go. Let's have a couple of Snapchats then. And where do you wanna go? How much you wanna miss? I'm not looking for. Okay, Colin.
What is Pogba's best position?
Number 8, box to box, but slightly not having to do too much defensively, which he's having to do at the moment for some reason. Lewis Munden.
Mark, what do you think about Pogba, and pretty much how long do you think he'll last at United?
I think next season is absolutely essential for Pogba, and I think that's when we judge him. See Karen 39.
Mate, great stream. Just wondering what you think of Dele Alli in the centre midfield. I think he's a brilliant young English player. I think we need someone like that.
I'm glad he mentioned that, because Dele Alli's been spoken a lot about today. I think he's just about to turn 21. I think, I said it's either Kante or Dele Alli for Player of the Season, and I think Ali will probably get it. It's great that he's English if you're English. I think Spurs, the way they approach the game, Spurs are the best team I've seen play Manchester United this year. I know we beat them, but they are the best footballing side I've seen. If Kane had turned up that game, I think they might have beat us. He didn't. But Dele Alli's been fantastic this year. Would I take him at Manchester United? I would. He's basically doing the role that Pogba should be doing, really, with that freedom that he doesn't get at the moment for some reason. But I did see somebody saying that he's better than Lampard, Gerrard, Beckham, Scholes. He's got a long way to get close to them lot, and I think that's just stupid media building a player up. I think he's got great potential. He's doing great things at the moment. But no Spurs players come into Manchester United this summer, not in a million years. They're going for the title. They'll be in the Champions League again. They're building something there. So why would people leave? They won't be leaving. Nobody will leave. Nobody will leave Spurs this year for any team in the Premier League. In fact, I don't think anybody will leave Spurs unless they want them to. So that's what I think about that. Fantastic. Really, really, really good show. Please drop a like, because we've had great Snapchats, fantastic callers as per usual. We will be doing another one later in the week if you've not gone on, because I appreciate it's 15 minutes shorter than normal, but that's because I've got a busy day tomorrow and I've got things I need to sort out. But I've really enjoyed the show. Thanks everybody for watching. If you missed the Griezmann bit, it's at the start for the first 5 minutes. That will get you up to date with that. And then we've covered a wide breadth of things. Let's hope that Palace can hold out, because that'll be helpful for us in relation to the top 4, because Arsenal do have quite an easy run in. I think after today, most of their games are pretty, but we've got to play them as well, so that gives us a little bit. Apparently we've made the list, says Chris Jericho. I don't know what list that is, but thanks everyone for watching. Please like the video, because this is for you lot. This is all your show. So, and if you've not subscribed, click the bottom right hand corner and subscribe and get involved. Live tomorrow night at 8:30. I think tomorrow night's probably gonna probably be the Anderlecht preview, because it's Tuesday, isn't it? But keep getting involved with the United Stand. Can't do it without you, especially these shows. So thanks everybody who gets involved, and on the live comments. The banter is real, and I do read the comments, and I enjoy reading that when people are talking. I listen as well, but I like to read the comments. So thanks everybody, and I'll see you all tomorrow at 8:30. And watch out on Snapchat and Instagram tomorrow, because it might be some interesting things why I've got to get up early. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you very soon.